I'm not sure that's why.
They did.
I don't think that's why. I've had numerous conversations with Eileen. I don't think that's why she ultimately didn't run.
Why didn't she run?
I think the final decision, and many of the folks in this room have run for office and won, as opposed to me. But it's a very personal decision, and you look at it, and I think the final factor was the election for her. I mean, and I don't want to speak for her, but I think, after Hillary lost, she kind of had to recalibrate, and there's a lot of folks out there. Hillary's always said, when you get knocked down, get right back up. And I think that's not always the easiest thing. And I think what she did is she looked at, the hard work that she's been doing and the priorities that she has on hand with her current job and, the race that she's got to run for re-election. And I think she made a sincere choice that, that was probably the best route to go. But I don't think it was I don't think that's where her head was at prior to the election.
Well, you're going to be a great Democratic spokesperson. I'm for you for vice chairman right off the bat. That was very good, Adam. It was very nice. Well, protect your party. Look, she didn't run because Justin Fairfax is going to clean her clock. That's why she didn't run.
I don't believe that's the case, but I will tell you. And it's great to be in the room for the first time. So I just want everyone here to know that, and who's listening, I will be wearing your hat probably the day after inaugural, because that's what we're going to need to do when Trump takes office. And but no,
the red one or the white one?
I'm not sure. The one that people superimpose on all their Twitter handle photos, which is the red one. But no, I sincerely think that. I think that she was all in, and I think the election was the deciding factor for her.
Okay, well, look, I can't look into her soul. I think she didn't run because she wasn't going to beat Fairfax. Speaking of, why is all the establishment, why don't you guys like Justin Fairfax? All the guy does is campaign his tail off. He's all over the state. The guy is a beast on the stump. Why don't you like Fairfax?
Well, I do like Justin, and I've endorsed him, and I've been friends with Justin. In fact, years ago, he was a young attorney living in Camelot Precinct, which I represent. I knocked on his door, got to know him, and he, got involved in politics. And he made a very aggressive run for AG, which, frankly, I didn't anticipate or encourage, but I thought he did a great run. And I told him, I said, look, running for office, it's not a lifetime achievement award. So if you got to have a forward vision, don't worry if your resume's not complete, don't worry about that. And I thought he did a great job, and afterwards I met with him and said, if you ever run statewide again or for anything, let me know, and I'd like to be helpful. And so, I think Justin's out, and I'm not saying I'm expecting other Democrats to get in. I may have people around this table going to get in, and listen, competition makes the party better, but I think Justin's got a very dynamic personality. He's getting out, he's getting around, and if he gets on it, I think he'd be a great lieutenant governor. So there. All right, but so maybe I'm not the establishment.
Well, you're not, but let's go to Ben, who's not the establishment either.
Ben is definitely not the establishment.
They're always trying to kick him out, and that's why he's always got a safe haven with us, because we take in everybody. We take in all
You're
kinds.
Like the Statue of Liberty.
That's right.
I'm the misfit toys.
I'm the misfit toys. We take Ben in. The Democratic Party of Virginia kicks him out. We take him in. We love him. We love him up. So, Ben, you were telling me I put Justin Fairfax as like 1 to 10 odds. I don't think you're going to beat him, but you were telling me, you were saying, look, Fredericks not so fast.
Right. I think that, first of all, Justin overperformed in the 2013 primary because Mark Herring had a strategy that was a flawed strategy against him of just ignoring him. Remember, Mark Herring wouldn't debate him, just tried to pretend like he didn't exist. So you've got somebody who went through a statewide primary, never participated in a debate with his opponent because his opponent wouldn't debate him. Mark Herring thought he was going to win in a landslide, so he just thought he could just ignore him. I think that, the amount of name ID that Justin held from 4 years ago is minimal. I think it's wide open. I think if you went out and asked Democratic primary voters right now and named 2 or 3 names, none of them would get 10% of the vote. And people would say, I have no idea who those people are. I'm completely undecided. And so the race is really wide open for people to step forward and offer their vision. And I don't doubt that Justin could win if he can go out there and do that, but he's certainly not a presumptive favorite. I think you put him at this 1 to 10 favorite. I put it as a toss-up in every respect.
You put it as a toss-up, but look, he's running against Gene Rossi. Gene Rossi's not going to win. Now, we have another potential candidate here, Susan Platt might get in that race. I mean,
Susan.
So one thing, I mean, no female. Only right now, Susan, there's only one woman on the ballot in either a party. There's going to be, 15, 18, 20 candidates. Only female running is Jill Vogel. That's it. So, Susan, we understand you might be putting your hat in the ring for lieutenant governor on the Democratic side. I've only got 2 minutes, so we're going to end with you and then start with you. But kind of tell our audience who Susan Platt is and why you might run.
Well, thank you very much, John. And I'm very honored to be with this esteemed group of men and to be the first woman on this show.
Ever.
Let me paraphrase one of my heroes, and since I worked for Chuck and Linda Robb, Lyndon Johnson is one of those, who said, if you're not seated at the table, you're on the menu. So I hope today I'm not going to be anybody's just desserts, but I'm glad to be here with you. Let me just say, for the last 25 years, I have lived in Virginia. I have been committed to public service. From managing Chuck Robb's race in 1994 against Oliver North, against all odds. And by the way, we did win that primary. And Mike Henry worked for me.
Until the end.
Not till the end, right. but he worked for me. And I'm proud of Mike. And I look to people as leaders like
Mike
Chuck
Henry,
Robb.
the chief of staff for Senator Kane.
Absolutely.
Great guy.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Wonderful guy.
good friend of mine, great guy.
But Chuck Robb was a great public servant. Tim Kaine is a great public servant. Bobby Scott is a great public servant. And Joan Foster, the former mayor of Lynchburg. And why do I know some of these people? And I can't leave out our current vice president as chief of staff for then Senator Joseph Biden. So 25 years I have worked for things that I believe in, and I've worked hard. I chose Virginia as my home state. But for the last 6 years, I have gone across this Commonwealth of my own volition, without pay, to try to encourage other voices to get involved in public engagement, public policy, running for office. And one of the most, and I've learned so much in the campaigns I've done here, and Don Byers' race for governor I've managed. I've met so many people across the state. I think I understand where they're coming from. My dad was first family of immigrants, and he was the only one of 13 kids, yes, it was a Catholic family, to go to college. And I was the first one of my generation. I lost my mother when I was 9 years old, so I grew up in a household of men, so it's not unfamiliar to me. But my greatest accomplishment, I think, in the last 25 years, besides marrying a great man that I've been married to for 37 years, is looking at one day in 2015 at a young, nearly 26-year-old African-American woman named Jasmine Gore, who won her city council seat in Hopewell. First ever, youngest ever. And she called me and asked for help, and we helped her, and we worked hard, and she won. And that's what I'm about, is encouraging younger people to get involved, to get engaged. Obviously, jobs are important. That's why I was so proud when Tim Kaine appointed me to the Virginia Tourism Authority. You got to have jobs. If people don't have money, they can't eat. They can't get an education. They can't move forward. So what happens? They go to drug addiction and opioids and crime, and I think we need to change it.
Okay, you just heard from a little mini